the fiqh rules, and last time we started discussing the first of the 5 main rules of fiqh, which is, what is the قاعدة? Remembers? 2 words. الأمور بمقاصدها. Things are to be judged according to the intentions behind them. And we discussed the details of the قاعدة, the meaning and everything. And we said that there are some sub-rules or قواعد مندرجة تحتها that will come under this category of this rule. One of them, or the first of them, is العبرة في العقود بالمقاصد والمعاني لا بالألفاظ والمباني. What really matters, which means what really matters in عقود, in contracts, is the intention behind them, is what those contracts are for, not really the wording. You see, nowadays wording is the most important things in the fine prints. In Islam, the right way to do it is to have even witnesses, and the meaning of the aqd is what really matters, not what's mentioned in there. So if something is mentioned in the aqd that opposes the aqd, the contract itself, or what the contract is trying to achieve, that is laghi, that doesn't count. Like if a wife, for example, sets a condition in the contract of marriage that you cannot approach me, you cannot touch me. Really? So that doesn't matter, even if it's mentioned in the contract, because it's against the very meaning of the contract of al-zawaj. Or somebody said, I sell you this, but you cannot use it. There's a condition, you cannot use it. That's against the very meaning of the contract. What really matters for al-uqud is, in contracts, is al-maqasid, the intention behind them. فلو أن إنسانا مثلا قال لإنسان خذ هذا اشتري منك مثلا, I buy this from you, something from you, I buy this book from you, and take my watch as amana with you. Is it really amana? He says amana. He says it's amana, it's a trust. So take my book, I'm not going to give you the price now, but my watch is there and as amana with you. Anybody knows what is this considered in Islam? This is rahm, this is mortgage. He said amana, he said it's trust. But it's really, in reality, it is mortgage. It is something that guarantees that you're going to get the price. You give me the price, I give it back to you. You don't give me the price, I have the right to, sell it and get my thing from it. The difference between it and amana is amana, I give you amana, a trust, you have to give it back to me once I ask for it. But this is not amana, even though he said it's amana. Why? Because it's a contract, it's there, even though the wording is something else. What matters really here is the contract itself, or al-ma'ani, the meaning and the intention behind them. Talking about the al-ayman, one of the famous things in here, هل الأيمان, يعني if somebody swears and takes an oath, هل هي على نية الحالف أو على نية المستحلف? If somebody is taking an oath, والله كذا, such and such, is it by his intention, what's in his heart, or what is understood from the yamin? Yani the scholars disagree about this, but anyway, it's different if you're doing it in front of the qada, in front of the court. You have to give the yamin according to the intention of al-mustahlif, which is al-qadi, the judge. You cannot play around. But otherwise, scholars disagree. Some of them believe على نية الحالف, and some of them believe على نية المستحلف. You give a yamin based on your intention, and if your intention is something you're not really fulfilling it, or you're saying words that do not fulfill what you're trying to take the oath for, then you have to question or answer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And there are some other rules or sub-rules that gets under this main rule of al-umur bimaqasidiha, but there are also some exceptions. One of the exceptions of this rule, the rule mentions that you get what you intend from the matter. If you intend something, that's what you get. This is an exception. من استعجل ما أخره الشرع يجازى برده. أو يقال من استعجل الشيء قبل أوانه عوقب بحرمانه. If something is trying to get something earlier, somebody's trying to get something earlier than he is supposed to, then the uquba is, or the punishment is that he should be deprived of it. Like somebody killed his muwarrith, like he will inherit from someone, he kills him with the intention of, getting to inherit him. Actually, he will not have inheritance. That's one of the rules, that because he killed that, even though his intention is to get it soon, he is not going to get anything. Same applies to من طلق زوجته ثلاثا في مرض الموت. والغرض ألا ترث. Somebody who is, on the deathbed and he divorced his wife 3 times. So, and his intention is to deprive her from al-mirath. If he dies while she is still in iddah, even though he did the talaq 3 times, she will inherit. بعكس مراده. He will be punished. He will not get to what he is intending because it is not right. And also, one of the exceptions is قاعدة الإيثار في القرب مكروه وغير محبوب. Preference, giving preference to others, it's good. You can always give preference to others in أمور الدنيوية, in worldly matters. But giving preference for others over yourself in أمور الآخرة أو العبادات, this is actually not right. And it depends on what action you're trying to give preference to somebody over yourself. If it is wajib on you, and you're trying to give it to somebody else, like only this water is enough for you to make wudu, and you have to make wudu for the salah right now, you say, no, my brother, take this water. No, it's obligatory on you to make wudu. You cannot forfeit this right. It's Allah made it obligatory on you, and you own the water. You have to make the wudu, don't give it to anybody else. It's not good to give it to anybody else. Actually, it's haram in this case. Why? Because يؤدي إلى فوات واجب. It will make you miss the wajib. And if it leads you to miss a sunnah, it would be not right or khilaf al-awla and so on. Like somebody is giving up his spot in the first saf for someone else. That's not right. That's not. It's not haram, but the sunnah is to be in the first spot. You go to the first spot there, and you have the right to be there, and it's recommended for you to be there. Do not forfeit it. Do not leave it for someone else, unless there is obviously something else is related to that, like your father, and you want to show him respect and so on. القاعدة الثانية, the second of the 5 main rules of fiqh, نتكلم عنها سريعا ونشرحها بالتفصيل مرة قادمة إن شاء الله. We're going to touch on it very quickly. So the first main rule was الأمور بمقاصدها, things are to be judged according to the intentions behind them. Rule number 2, اليقين لا يزول بالشك. What's certainty can never be removed by doubt. Certainty can never be removed by doubt. Talking about certainty and doubt, there are actually some levels. There are 4 or 5, actually 5 levels in there of how can you think of something. The highest of all of these levels is al-yaqeen, is to be certain about that. And al-yaqeen قالوا جزم القلب مع الاستناد إلى اليقين إلى الدليل القطعي, is to be certain in your heart, having this certainty based on evidence that is qat'i, that is factual matter. It's not open for it. That's yaqeen. The level that comes right under that, level number 2, is al-i'tiqad. So there is certainty and there is belief or i'tiqad. Belief is جزم القلب من غير استناد إلى دليل قطعي. It is something that you have in your heart that you are sure about, but you do not have a factual dalil. ومثل له باعتقاد العامي. Somebody like the lay people, they have faith in Islam and Christianity or whatever. They have faith in that, but they don't have the definite dalil. The lay people, they don't have the definite dalil, so it's not certainty in the level. It's i'tiqad, which is level number 2 of the thoughts. Level number 3, which is actually in the middle. So those are 2 levels: al-i'tiqad or al-yaqeen wal i'tiqad. Jazmi, there's somebody sure about something, and al-yaqeen is stronger. Then there is in the middle of dhann, which is probability. Probability هو تجويز أمرين أحدهما أقوى من الآخر, is there are 2 possibilities. You are thinking it could be this and it could be that, but I tend to think one of them is a little stronger than the other. This is الظن. والظن له مرحلة أخرى هو غالب الظن, وفيه يطرح الإنسان الشيء المرجوح. There is likelihood and there is most likelihood. Most likelihood is likelihood first, you have probability. 2 things. That could be right, the other one could be right. I tend to think that one of them is right without completely rejecting the other one. غالب الظن, which is most likely, is 2 probabilities. I tend to think this is right and I completely exclude the other thing, or most likely the other thing is wrong. So when you tend to focus on one side and think it's most likely right, that's غالب الظن. ويحقوه في العرف الفقهي يحقوه باليقين. And then the level that comes after that is الشك. الشك is تجويز أمرين لا مزية لأحدهما على الآخر. It's probabilities. You have 50, it's 50-50. You think it could be this way right, and it could be the other way right. I don't have any preference. That's shak. That's doubt. Either I'm going to Pensacola and should I go this way or that way? I don't really know. 50% here, 50% here. That's shak, doubt. And then the final level is al-wahm. تجويز أمرين أحدهما أضعف من الآخر. I have probability between two things. Both of them are weak. I don't really think they are strong enough. Both probabilities are weak. So talking about al-yaqeen هنا is what's really there. ما ثبت بيقين, what is factual in there. There is no way it could be removed. It could be taken away until another yaqeen, another certainty comes to remove it. You can never remove or change what is ما هو ثابت بيقين, what is confirmed through certainty. You can never shake that or remove that or change that with doubt, because doubt is a lower level. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala الأدلة قال وما يتبع أكثرهم إلا ظنا إن الظن لا يغني من الحق شيئا. He said about the non-believers, majority of them, they just go their way of faith by dhann. It's not certainty, it's not faith, it's just dhann. They think it's like that. Or they have this kind of probability, they go by probability. إن الظن لا يغني من الحق شيئا. Indeed, this kind of way, following the probabilities, لا يغني من, like Darwinism, for example. Darwinism is not factual, it is just a theory that somebody is assuming something that happened way millions of years in the past, and you don't have any observation in the lab, because that's science. You see something happening one time and you see it repeating the second time and third time, that's an experiment that becomes a factual matter. But this is just an assumption that this has happened like this and this is moved like that, and then it goes to the level of i'tiqad right now, but it's not actually, it's not faith, it's not i'tiqad, it's just dhann or probability. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said about the people who follow the probability, they are not really following the truth, because this probability is not going to avail nothing from the clear truth. And the Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam taught us this also, this rule. قال من يعني لا ينفتل أو لا ينصرف الرجل يخير إليه شيء في الصلاة. If somebody feels something in salah, like he is losing his wudu, he thought, or he has checked out that he probably passed gas or something, and Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, لا ينفتل, he should never leave his salah حتى يسمع صوتا أو يجد ريحا, until he hears some sound, or he smells something. Like means like you should be sure that something has happened. And he also said, إذا شك أحدكم في صلاته فلم يدري كم صلى ثلاثا أم أربعا فليطرح الشك وليبني على ما استيقن ثم يسجد سجدتين قبل أن يسلم فإن صلى خمسا شفعنا له صلاته وإن كان صلى إتماما لأربع كان ترغيما للشيطان. He said, if you have doubt in your salah what number that you prayed, 3 or 4, go by what you are certain. I am certain that I prayed 3, but I'm not sure, is it really 4? Did I pray the 4th one? So put that aside, the 4th one, go by what's yaqeen, by what's certain, 3, and then you pray, you do 2 sajda at the end, before the end of the salah. He said, if you really prayed 4 raka'at, that's going to make it shaf'a for you. If you pray 5 raka'at, that's going to make it odd number again for you. And if you pray 5, that's going to be targhiman lil-shaytan. That's going to be something that shaitan really doesn't want, and you're trying to oppose him by making extra sujood for the sake of Allah. So the point in these hadith and these ayat is this qa'idah is certainty, is what matters. And anything else that does not get to that level of certainty, put it aside and you go by certainty. أقول قولي هذا وأستغفر الله ولكم صلى الله عليه وسلم محمد وعلى آله وصحبه.